I'm Jane Seymour, and I want to introduce you to 4 of my friends. Meet Kurt. And Soshi. How you doing, Anthony? Hi, Rachel. Do you know what they all have in common? They've all been abused by people they knew and trusted.
It kind of felt like he just walked in and then started looking for stuff to start like a fight or start arguing with us. One day he came home from work and there was a salt shaker spilled on the table. He wanted to know who did it, and I told him that we didn't know. He started hitting us with a belt, and it wasn't like normal spanking or anything. Sometimes he'd leave marks, like bruises or a black eye. Once he even gave me a bloody nose. I remember that I was beat like 3 or 4 times a week.
When my dad and my real mom got divorced, I saw my dad every other weekend, and I lived with my real mom and my stepdad. I stopped living with them after my stepdad sexually abused me. The way my abuse happened was every morning after my mom would go to work, Jesse, my stepdad, would come and sleep on the bottom bunk, and he'd call me to the side of bed, and then he started to touch me in private parts. I felt like this weird feeling in me because I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. I didn't know what was happening then. After the abuse, I felt weird because he was spoiling me. Like, he'd buy me donuts in the morning. He would buy me a piano for my birthday, and I liked what he was giving me, but I didn't like the abuse that he was giving me. I felt like I had to tell someone, and one day I told my mom when she was vacuuming, and I told her that my stepdad, Jesse, was touching me in private places. She seemed casual, like nothing happened. She just kept on vacuuming.
When I was growing up, I don't really remember anybody taking care of me like I should have been taken care of at that age. When I was about 3 or 4, my mom would leave and she would go for a couple of hours to a couple of days sometimes. She would leave a bowl of peaches on the table for me to eat, and that was all I had. I always sat at the table looking out the window or looking at the peaches, wondering when my mom would get home. When my mother left, I was about 3 or 4. She abandoned me, and they let me stay with my grandmother. When I lived with my grandmother, she was really sick, and sometimes she drank a lot. I was being neglected when I had to do things that were not usual for my age.
I was only 4, and I was cooking for her and helping her bathe and going to the store for her. I was too young to do those things alone.
And it's like the stress just built up on the inside, and you could feel it. It was like right here. And a lot of times when I thought about something or when I went to sleep thinking about something, I wake up and my chest would be hurting. When my grandmother died, I was passed from relative to relative. I always felt like I was an outsider. I never felt like I really fit in. When I was 14, I went to my last aunt's house. And I looked out the window one day and I said, well, God, how long am I going to be here? Because I know I'm not going to be here really long. One day, we had an argument, and she said, get your stuff and get out.